Hi there, everyone. Welcome back for another Pearblossom Press video. I'm Cassie. Today we're going to be using an easy light to make a spooky Halloween card. I'm going to pair that up with some of the Pearblossom Press Vellum. We'll bring in some other products as well. The stamps that we're going to focus on is this Simon Hurley Create Framed Frights. It's brand new, and I just thought it would be super fun to light up the cat's eyes. So yeah, we're going to do that. And then we also have these other new products. This is the Damask Stencil, and then we also have the Spiderweb red rubber background. So let's go ahead and jump into it. I've got the Spiderweb red rubber background, and I have a piece of black cardstock that measures 4¼ by 5½ inches. I'm going to go ahead and ink up just a part of the spiderweb using some white ink, and then we're going to cover that with some fine detail white embossing powder. And then we'll hit that with our heat tool to make sure that is smooth and melted. And then we're gonna do the other corner a little bit differently, but also with a spider web. I just thought that would add a little bit of interest. Our background is gonna be fairly simple, really, especially with it being a black background. I don't know, I just thought it would be kind of cool to do this. And then we're gonna bring in that stencil and do something else. So again, one more, we'll just put it right here in the corner and then cover that with that white detail embossing powder or fine detail white embossing powder, and then hit that with the heat tool until that is smooth and melted. Now that that's ready to go, I'm going to tack this down to my magnetic mat with that Damask stencil, and then I'm going to bring in some of this Black Widow paste, and then we're going to use our silicone brush to spread that across most of that background. It just gives this cool wallpaper look. And I'm not covering the whole thing. That spider web is going to take up some of it. But then we can pull this back, and it's very subtle, but it does add some depth to that background. So we'll set that off to the side to dry, clean up our mess, and then we're going to go ahead and do some stamping. So like I said, I want to light up the cat's eyes. So we're bringing in the cat and we're bringing in the frame, and we're going to ink those up using some Black Widow Stellar ink. And this ink is so great. I rarely have to restamp. It just does such a good job of inking up the images and then stamping down. So we just needed to do it one time. That worked out great. I'm bringing in some Olo markers, just my alcohol markers in general, because I'm going to bring in some Copics also later. As you can see, I keep those in my pouches. Pearblossom Press has those in the store, and these are fabulous, especially if you're somebody who travels around. These are just really great to have. And so I haven't actually pulled them out of my pouches and put them on my desk like I normally do. They're staying in my pouches. I really just like having them right there. So we're going to color up our frame. I'm trying to give it more of a gold look. Silver would have been good too, but I'm using some yellow orange here and just coloring in the frame itself. And stamps like this are just great. That got that sketchy look to them, and actually it provides a ton of detail, which makes your coloring that much easier. You can add a little bit of darker shade here and there, and wherever there's a lot of pencil marks, especially on that cat, you'll see there's some like extra spots in areas where you might think that there would be like a shadow. That's where you can add your darker color if you want to. It's these kind of stamps are just super forgiving when it comes to coloring, which is, I think a great thing, especially if you're also in a hurry to color too. Sometimes we don't always have an hour to make a card or half an hour to make a card, so sometimes we have to be fairly quick, and stamps like this just make that super easy. So I'm not really thinking too much about it, just adding color wherever there's already some shadows, and then it just makes it so simple. So super easy. We'll add a little bit more color to his bow tie and his shirt, and then we're going to color the background in purple. There are two dies for this frame that you can use or not use. They're not connected, so you can use the outside part of the frame and not use the inside, or use both. However you wanted to do it, the sky's the limit there. But we are going to cut out the middle. I am going to use the middle, but we are going to cut it out. So I am adding some shadowing to that one. I'm using some Copics for this. I used V15 and V17, and then we'll blend those out. I thought the purple with the green would just really pop, especially with that black background. And then, of course, his eyes are going to light up, so there you go. So bringing in that V15 again, just kind of blending that color and then we can bring in the matching dies that go along with this. Like I said, I'm going to use the inside part of the frame die as well, and it'll cut both of those out. So we'll run this through our die cutting machine once everything is tacked down in place using some mint tape. And then I do want to make sure that background is nice and dry before I move on. So I hit it with my heat tool, and then we are going to trim it down. Like I said, it was originally 4¼ by 5½ inches. We're going to cut it down to 4 inches by 5¼ so it will leave a nice border all the way around it. And this panel of white cardstock measures 4¼ by 5½ inches. So that's the full front of an A2 size card. And I do want it to be purple, but I want it to match perfectly. So I'm bringing in that V17 and I'm using just the chisel edge. And I'm coloring simply just on the edge. You don't have to color the whole thing. It's not all going to be seen. So that's a fun way to make sure that your cardstock matches. You can use white cardstock and use your alcohol markers. So we're going to go ahead and glue down our black panel to our white/purple panel. And then no one's the wiser. You just think that's that purple paper. So that works out great. And so now I need to cut out his eyes. So I'm going to start by poking a hole. And once I get the hole kind of poked, because I'm doing this on a foam piece of, like just a piece of foam that I have, and using a paper piercer. Once I get that hole started, I can bring in the scissors and just cut his eyes out. So I won't bore you with that. I'll just show you that his eyes are cut out. I am going to mark it on the inside piece of that frame, just so I know where his eyes are going to go. And then we're going to stamp his face onto a piece of vellum using that Stellar ink. Now, because it's vellum, it's not going to soak into the paper, so you're going to want to heat set that. Another option would be to cover that with some clear embossing powder, or even some black embossing powder in this case, and then hit that with your heat tool. I'm going to cut around the eyes because that's really all I need. I'll put some glue behind his face, and then we'll just line that up with his eyes. Perfect. He's ready to go. And then we do need to glue down this piece. So the inside of the frame needs to be glued down. I'm going to use the T ruler. That just helps keep everything nice and straight. I love that there are 2 different sizes for the Pearblossom Press T ruler, and there are some really great ways to use it, not just, to keep things straight, even though that's really what it is. It's got some edges to it. People have explained it a little bit better in some other videos, so I think if you're curious about it, you should go check that out. But it is a staple in the craft room. All right, we've glued that down, and now I'm just going to use my scissors, and I'm going to cut a rectangle of those eyes. I don't have to cut the eyes themselves out. That's not important because it's mostly going to be covered anyway. I'm just cutting a rectangle of those eyes. So as you can see, and we had to cut through 3 layers, so just wanted to make sure I did that. I'm just checking to make sure he's going to be straight on there. And he's going to be great. So now I'm going to line that up onto a card base, and I'm going to mark where that rectangle is because that's where we're going to put our lights. That card base measured 5½ inches by 8½ inches and was scored at 4¼ So it is an A2 size card base. We're bringing in one of those easy lights. I'm just going to pop the battery in there the correct way and then just check to make sure everything's working. And I'm going to grab some washi tape, and I'm going to put all 3 of those lights down. You could cut one off if you really just wanted it to be right behind the eyes, but I'm going to keep all 3. That'll keep it nice and bright. Yeah, but cutting off one of the lights isn't going to hurt it, so you could just use 2 if you wanted. However, like I said, in this case, I'm going to use all 3. Just make sure they're facing up, tack those down with that washi. Then I'll glue down my mechanism. I originally was going to glue it down this way, and this is why liquid glue is my best friend, especially when making cards, because I do change my mind and I just turn it. That way the battery is a little bit easier to access if the recipient would like to do that. So there you go. And then I'll just make sure and tack it down a little bit more with one more piece of washi tape. Now the next step before any other assembly is to get some foam tape on there. And I highly suggest that you grab a 3mm deep foam tape. So that is the suggestion. And so I've got some of this, and you could, even if you have some that's not quite as deep as 3mm, you could double up your foam tape and that would work out fine too. I just have some of this stuff. There's plenty out there. And then we're going to glue down our cat. We can actually start assembling everything. So our cat's going to get glued down. I'm going to just make sure that his eyes are seen through that rectangle. Then we can put his frame down. Now, I wanted to pop his frame up on some foam tape also, but that would make it really thick. So I did use a foam tape, but this is a super thin foam tape. I have quite the collection of foam tape, and these foam squares are super thin. So it's still going to give the illusion that the frame is popped up a little bit, but not quite as much as normal. So, all right, that's on there. And now we can start, well, after we put the sentiment on, which you didn't see me stamp and cut out. I just fussy cut around it. And now I'm going to start peeling back that foam tape. I'm going to take both of those center release papers off. And then for all the outside edges, you've seen me do this before. I just kind of pull a part of it down and then fold it over. I don't know if it actually helps. I mean, it helps me. Maybe it's a mental thing. I'm not sure. But it allows me some time to make sure that everything is lined up straight. And then I can push it down, and then we can slowly peel away the rest of that release paper. And then the card is almost ready. So we do need to put a push button on there, or at least, you know, where the recipient knows to push. So I'm going to stamp that onto some scrap white cardstock. And then, of course, I'm going to stamp the light bulb on the back of my card base. And then I'm just going to fussy cut out the push, and then I'll put a little glue there, and we'll pop down the word push. And that's going to finish off the card. This was such a fun card to make. I had thought about it ever since I saw this new stamp set. So everything's going to be linked down below. If you like this video, be sure to hit that like button. Definitely consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. And be sure to check out all that Pearblossom Press has going on over on their blog, Facebook page, and Instagram for more crafty inspiration. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you soon.